Right, Captain Dave Hansen with another phenomenal podcast for you today. Hey, I want to thank everybody on Spotify, Apple, Megaphone for tuning into our podcast every day. I just got a report and the numbers are insane, and that's all because of all of you. So give yourselves a pat on the back. I would give you all a hug. I can't believe the following. So thank you all very, very much. And then those of you that follow me on Facebook and YouTube, you already know you guys are superstars. We're quickly approaching 100,000 subscribers over on YouTube, but I need you all to help me. I need you to hit that like button and the subscribe button on YouTube. You know, I had no idea how much it helps my channel. Now that you all are doing it, you're all involved and you're all helping me out, we're growing rapidly. We're at just over 71,000 subscribers. It's absolutely insane. 3 years ago, I didn't even have a YouTube channel, and now I'm already at 71 and a half, almost 72,000 subscribers, and that's because of all of you. So thank you very, very much. Jeanette, good to see you. And gang, we just got done watching 5 hours of Justin out fishing, and a lot of that's because of Jeanette and her husband. So thank you guys very, very much. What Justin's doing right now is absolutely incredible. The live fishing out on the water, and Jeanette and Dave are going to go with them on Saturday and get this thing tuned in a little bit finer. And we're going to be going live from Catalina. We're going to be going live from out on the tuna grounds. It's just insane what we're setting on a powder keg here, gang. At one point this morning on Facebook alone, and these numbers might not sound very big to you, but listen, they're huge in the industry. There was 72 people on Facebook alone on a Tuesday morning on a show that's never, ever been on before. There was 72 people watching it live on Facebook, and there was another 40 watching it live on YouTube. It's never been done. And they break it down to minutes watched. We're going to be coming up probably on 20 to 25,000 watched minutes this morning on Justin fishing rockfish on his boat with Paul, his regular. So if you haven't had a chance to see that yet, it's on Facebook right now. You can go look at it after we're done with our show, and you can see Justin out there fishing. Absolutely incredible. Great job, Justin. I'm blown away by the people watching our stuff, just like when you were hoop netting. The incredible amount of views you got during the hoop netting, we're rocking the industry. They're blown away. No one's ever seen anything like what Justin and I are doing. So we can't do any of it without all of you. Tim, Joe, Jeanette, everybody that's a part of here. Tim, Darren, Mike, Lewis, all of you sharing with your friends and telling them about the podcast and telling them about our live videos and telling them about our live fishing trips and following all of the videos that we put out every single day. I just can't thank you all enough. And keep watching, because Justin's going to keep going live fishing. And as soon as we get Al Clowers out there, he'll be going live fishing. We're just going to break the internet with all this live fishing stuff. But today, gang, I got a really good friend with us today. He has designed one of the most incredible surfboards that I've ever seen. And why are we having a surfboard guy on the show today? Gang, you can fish on this surfboard. Plus, this guy's an avid fisherman, diver, spear fisherman. He's got a lot to bring to the channel. He's got a lot to bring to the show. And this surfboard is going to be available for the masses. It's going to be incredible when you see how this thing works. We can take it down to a lake. We can take it to a harbor. We can take it anywhere there's fish, and we can fish off it. And those of you that love to surf, you're going to be blown away by the durability and the easiness of using this. And you can get this thing all over the place. So we're going to bring in my friend Jed here in just a second. But I also want to let everybody know it's Promar Ahi USA Tuesday. We always talk Promar products on Tuesday. We got a couple of little videos to show you. Also, if you watch today, Justin was fishing with the rock cod squirts this morning. And Paul and Justin were able to limit out pretty quickly using just rock cod squirts and a little strip of squid on there. So that Promar Ahi rock cod squirt works phenomenal. I've been talking about it for a very long time. And the proof was in the pudding this morning because he was live, zero editing, and you watched him catch limits in minutes. So, gang, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. Kick back, relax, and let's bring Jed in right now and find out all about what he's got going on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited that you finally made it on here. I've been waiting for this ever since I met you. So, hey, how did you get into this fishing thing? That's the number one thing I love to ask everybody. Somebody took you fishing when you were a little kid, right?
You know it. So I grew up in Vegas where it's 118 freaking degrees outside. And so we spent a lot of time at Lake Mead. And my dad started taking me fishing when I was like maybe 6. We started catching stripers and largemouth and carp even. There's some big carp out there. I know you had a story about some big carp that you had out there. And yeah, it's lifelong memories with my dad. You know, we still go fishing to this day. We kind of upgraded from lake fishing to all the saltwater stuff now that I live out in California. And it's some of the best memories of my life with my dad, and I'll never trade him for anything. So take your kid fishing.
That's what we talk about on this show every day, gang. How important it is to get children involved in this sport. It's life-changing. You have no idea how it changed my life. I believe because of fishing, I'm here today. And I know Jet's on the show today because of fishing. And gang, if you look around and you think about it, someone took you fishing when you were young. You just didn't. Now, there is a few crazy people out there that picked up fishing in their 40s, but most people started when they were little kids, and then the passion grew. And that's the thing we talk about the most is you got to get children involved in fishing. And I think you've come up with a really unique way to get the masses involved in just water sports, period, because a lot of people don't have a big car. A lot of people don't have a truck. A lot of people don't have a way to get out on the water, especially with the price of fuel and a charter boat and all the different things going on today. So, gang, I want you to look at something real quick. I want to show you this little quick video. Stay with us, and then we'll jump right back on here, and then we'll talk to Jed about how he designed this and then all about his fishing career and everything he's done as far as fishing goes. But just real quick, just take a couple seconds and watch this.
So I just surfed the Nimble, and it is a super fun board. It paddles surprisingly well, decent speed in the water. I could feel the concaves on the bottom of the board, like kind of really helping me turn and dig in. You know, the shape is perfect for days like today. The folding aspect made it really easy to hike down to the beach, especially on a steep, 10-minute hike. It made it super easy. I was able to put my wetsuit, booties, all that stuff in the backpack as well. I was able to throw it in my rooftop box on my car. I could pretty much just take it anywhere. So I see it being really, really helpful for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Like I was saying, the thing about this is it just opens up so many things for so many people. I want you to see one more surfing video real quick. Those of you that are doubting that this board would actually work to surf, watch this, and then we're going to talk about how you came up with this. Looks like he was able to surf, right? It looked like it worked. So how did you get into figuring out a folding surfboard?
Yeah. So we started this company called AT Outdoors. It's my roommate and I, and we're both children of the outdoors. We absolutely love everything outdoors. I'm spearfishing, scuba diving, fishing, everything like that. He's all into mountaineering. He likes to go up crazy mountains. He summited Whitney, and we basically wanted to bring accessibility to the outdoors with this company. That's the whole point. The surfboard is the first thing that we saw. We're both surfers. That like it's impossible to get an 8-foot surfboard to the beach on some days because you either have a small car, right? You're walking it down to the beach, you're skating it down to the beach, you're biking it down to the beach. And in SoCal, we have such small living spaces that it can really be a hindrance for some people getting to the water. So we came up with something that folds, gets you in the water. It's meant for, beginners and intermediate surfers. It's super approachable. And the thing really runs and rides. You can see some of the features we got. It's no tools to put it together. It's all boat parts. It's all 316 stainless steel. We actually go to a boat manufacturer for a lot of our parts. And unlike a lot of foamies that exist today, it's got real shape in it. So it's something that's going to grow with you as a surfer. And if you want to fish off of it, you can. I don't have a photo. I wish I did, but I did catch a bass off of the surfboard just for fun. And it gets people in the water. We want to do paddle boards eventually. And that's something that you can really fish off and maybe get towed around by a white sea bass out in Lunada.
Well, I've fished off surfboards for a very long time. When I was a young man back in Southern California, we paddled out to a lot of the reefs on surfboards. I've done it down here in Cabo. I did it in Hawaii. It's a really easy way to get out and fish a little bit. And I think this board is just absolutely incredible. When I saw you guys at the show, I was like, you got to check this thing out. So what's going on with this QR code right here? What do we got going on?
Yeah, so we're live on Kickstarter right now. We're basically raising funding to get all of our tooling and startup costs. And by doing that, we're going to give you a board. So the special right now is $3.99 on Kickstarter. You can go to that link and pre-order your board. And then that's $100 off of MSRP. So you're getting a pretty good deal, getting in early and getting a nimble for yourself.
And then, Jed, there's a lot of people that are listening, driving in their cars on the podcast. They can't actually see the screen like on Facebook and YouTube. How can they get involved? Because I know there's people out there that want to get involved. They're not watching this, but they're listening. They're going, what are you talking about? A fold-up surfboard? Come on.
Sure, yeah. So you can go to aethiaoutdoors.com. That's AETHIA outdoors.com, and that will redirect you to the Kickstarter. But you can see a bunch more information about it there. You can get a visual on the board. It's basically a 7'6" surfboard, foamy, that folds in half, requires no wax, and gets you to the beach a lot quicker if you're a newbie than a regular foamy.
Now, how did you come up with this as a fisherman, a Lake Mead fisherman? What's your background? How did you design this thing?
So raised in Vegas, and then I came out to California, SoCal, for work. I'm actually an aerospace engineer. And so I work at a big defense company, and I live in Santa Clarita, which, if anyone doesn't know, is about an hour and a half, 2 hours from the beach during rush hour traffic that we have here in California. So my buddy and I, we were going surfing all the time. I drive a 2-door car. He had a Prius at the time, and it was really difficult to go down and get to the beach with all of our surfboards on top of our car. And we said there has to be a better way. So we started making hardboards. I see someone in the comments says they're a shaper, and we started making hardboards just for ourselves. And then, every time we went down to the beach, we had people coming up to us with foamies saying like, "Oh my God, I had to rent this. I can't bring my foam to SoCal. I don't have the living space for it. I don't have, I don't have the car for it, whatever it is. There's a bunch of things that prohibit me from surfing." And so we said, okay, we have to change that and make it easier for both ourselves and everyone else. We were solving our own problem and hopefully a bunch of other people's problem with it.
Yeah, Anthony, that's good. I'm glad this is interesting to you, because if you've been shaping surfboards since you were 15 and you think this is interesting, I think you're onto something here, Jed. I think you got something going on. And Brett's a big time diver. He just said, did you say scuba diving? And
yes, sir.
Let me show you something. I got a picture. We got a few pictures of that for you, Brett, but yeah, he's been using this board to go diving on. He's been using it to go spearfishing on. He's been using it to go. Yeah, he's a diver, Brett. He might show you something. You might learn something from him.
So yeah, Brett, I'm a certified rescue diver. I love scuba. I'm also a free diver. I love spearfishing. It's kind of a new one of my passions. Basically, we were out there on our boat one day, and there were a bunch of mahi jumping around that wouldn't bite anything. And we said, okay, we're coming back. We're coming back with something you can't refuse. And that was the start of the spearfishing journey.
Nice. Yeah, you force-fed him the iron.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Okay, so then what's been, as far as going out there and showing people this board, what I thought was really, I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but what I thought was really cool is the backpack. The backpack, you put all your gear in that and you walk down the side of the hill like we saw that surfer dude you were talking to that made the video. It's got everything goes in the backpack. Where do we get the backpack? Is that part of the deal?
Yeah, that's part of the deal on Kickstarter. It's an add-on basically on the Kickstarter. You get the bag. And that allows you to bring down all your gear that is necessary for surfing. We've got pockets on it. We've got D-rings on it, so you can kind of accessorize and add things to your own liking if you wanted to bring, a tackle box or something like that. And then the bag also folds out into a beach mat. So if you have a loved one with you, you can, sit them on the beach and they can watch you surf. And basically the board, one of the biggest things that we got feedback wise for the board, my name's Jet Baruti, by the way. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback we got from the board was like new guys never know where to put their keys. So the board actually has waterproof storage built into it. It's got a little waterproof bag in there that you can put your keys or your phone or your wallet if you wanted it. And that allows you to keep your keys with you, because we had a buddy out in Malibu. He went surfing, came back. He had his keys stuck up under his wheel well, like a lot of surfers do. And a tweaker stole his car and ran it into a pole when he came back. So yeah, you can see that little waterproof storage bag up on the top right. And that's just something that, allows you to keep your keys with you, keep yourself safe, and not get your car stolen at the beach, because that's a real bummer, man. That's a real bummer.
Yeah, and what's going on in California now, that's not a crime anymore. So there's going to be more people stealing cars because it's not a crime. The only thing that's a crime is fishing nowadays in California. That's why
right.
That's why I always try to bring in people like Jet that are innovate the fishing industry. This is a phenomenal tool for fishing and diving, and there's so much that you can do with this thing that I think it'd be great to you and your son paddle out in the bay and with a couple of little spinning rods and go fish, and you fold it up and it goes in anybody's car. There's really no downside to this. And then we had that shaper, Aaron, talking about it. I think you got a really bitchin' product here that's going to get turned on to a lot of people, especially watching this show. This is where all the fishing people come. This is where they're all hanging out at.
Yeah, appreciate it. And Aaron, an homage to all the surfers. You probably know foamies come with zero.
Or Anthony,
shape.
Not Aaron. Anthony.
Sorry, Anthony. Come with zero shape. They come with a flat bottom. They're pretty awful for surfing, and we worked with a lot of shapers to put real shape into this thing. We've got 70-30 rails down to a hard edge. We've even got a double concave bottom in it. The foam it's made out of is an EPP. It's super durable and allows us to mold all of that shape in. So you should be able to turn this thing, and it shouldn't be a big old wave storm.
Do you see what Anthony said about how he's a crate?
Yeah, exactly. What we kind of imagine for an intermediate surfer, right? Someone like me, is I get to keep this board in my car all the time, right? It's got no wax on it, so it's not going to leave a mess. I can leave it in my car for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, and it allows me just to go surf whenever. Like, I don't have to take up seats in my car for someone. It just allows me to go whenever. I can put 2 of them in my trunk. We've put 4 of them in a Prius plus people. So it just gets you that access to the water that you're craving. And when you look outside and you see the waves, but you're not home, you got your board with you.
Same with if you're looking out in the bay and you can see the fish, but you can't cast that far. You go.
That's right. I personally used it for spearfishing a lot. I tie off all my gear to it and paddle it out to, into the kelp. Allows me to get over the kelp instead of through it. And then I'll drop down, up and down in like the 40-foot areas and try and get some sea bass. And then if I catch something, I can clip it off to the board and it's off of my body, which is a nice thing to have.
Oh, absolutely. That is phenomenal. I just love this whole thing about this, every part of it, the accessibility for people to get this in, like Jet was saying, your car, that's the biggest problem with surfers. They got no way to get their board down there, and they look at their buddies and they go, "Hey, can I strap my board to the roof?" No, you can't strap your board to the roof of my car. No, I don't want all that sand and wax scratching the hell out of the roof of my car. And I know people are like, "Oh, we got soft racks." Really? You carry those around with you all the time? Or you remember the old hard, the racks that went on your roof that were hard and they had the cord and it would bang, 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 bang on your paint as you were driving down the road because you didn't put it down right? No, this is a great way to get around all that. And like Jet said, with the way that rent is today and trying to store a surfboard in your house? Now, this is a big answer to a lot of problems. A big answer to a lot of problems. And we got more people jumping on and jumping off. Grab the QR code there, gang, if you want to get involved with this and get the great deal that Jet's got going on right now through Kickstarter. You're going to save $100 on the MSRP of this board. And you just grab that QR code, jump in there, go through there, and that'll get you in on this new innovation. And as things go along here, you're going to see these things all over the place, and you're going to go, I saw that on your saltwater guide. That is so cool. I wish I had one. Jed will get you one. It won't get you one with $100 off, but he'll get you one. He promises he'll get you one. So let's go back into fishing some more. Let's go talk about fishing. So when you came out, well, you fished Lake Mead, which is a bitchin' fishery. I got to fish there. I got to work out there quite a bit back in the day when I was setting up trade shows, and I worked at the convention center. And then on my off time, I'd go out to Mead and we'd go fishing. And me and my son would go float tubing there, largemouth bass, and big, giant, the biggest carp I've ever seen in my life. My son caught a 20-pound carp there once. But what were some of the bitchin' things that happened fishing Lake Mead with you and your dad when you were young? That because something got you. I mean, catching fish is okay, but there was something that got you.
Yeah, so Lake Mead was an awesome fishery. It's I think it needs more awareness of what's going on there right now too, with the low water levels and stuff like that. We need to, it's just like out here in California, we need to protect our fisheries. But Lake Mead, when I was a kid, was absolutely beautiful, and emerald green water. We'd go out there. We started fishing from shore, right? And of course, the first fish you hook into as a kid that you don't know what to do with, and you're sitting there like, I don't know what to do, right? Just gets you hooked. And then we got a boat. We got a little Sea Ray, 18-foot Sea Ray that we take out, and we spent hours on that lake. I think we put like 500 hours on the tack on that boat, because we'd go out and it was a whole day event. We'd be out there for 12 hours. We'd go get shad, go get live bait, a lot like California stuff. We started live lining bait before we knew what that was. And we were fishing for stripers, fishing for bass. I think the moment that got me hooked though, was I jumped in just to swim because it's 118 degrees in Vegas. The water's 85, like it's too warm. You have to dive down. And I swam down a little bit and I looked down in front of me. I was in a vortex of stripers. Like there must have been 2,000 or 3,000 stripers sitting there below me, looking up at me like, catch me. And I was like, there's so many fish I don't know what to do with. Jumped back on the boat, scrambled back on the boat, screaming, right? I was like, Dad, there's so many fish. And we sat there and we plugged away at stripers for the rest of the afternoon. And one of my favorite memories fishing. It was just one of the things that got me like, okay, I can fish for the rest of my life because I know they're down there. I've seen them with my eyes,
That is cool at Lake Mead. I had no idea there was that much striper in Lake Mead. We largemouth bass fish there all the time. I didn't even know. I'm pretty naive about fresh water. I didn't even know there was stripers in that lake. Wow.
According to the fisheries, there's 7 million stripers in Lake Mead.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we got to get over there and go check that out. We got to get going. What was the biggest fish you caught in Lake Mead?
The fish are like, I think the biggest striper that we got was about 5 pounds. And for a striper, that's a healthy size striper, right? Like for a lake fish, you're stoked on a 5-pounder. Most of the fish were in like the 3-pound range. And then we moved to the Colorado River. And that's where the stripers get big. The stripers get up to 30 pounds in the Colorado because they're in that cold water and they stock trout there. So they're eating like good 11, 12-inch trout down in the river.
Right. Wow. That's got to be fun fishing it on the artificials in there.
Oh, yeah. Big glide baits, swim baits, stuff like that. And those, I think the biggest one we personally got was like 23. And we know some buddies who hit them up 30,
Wow, that's incredible. I had no idea. This is all brand new to me. Thank you very much. And then when was the first time you got exposed to fishing in the ocean?
I think I was about 14. And we came out and did a party boat, and we didn't know what we were doing. We jumped on a half a day, 90 people on the boat. This thing looked like a pirate ship. It was all metal. Like, it wasn't even nice like a lot of the, you know, sport boats that we see now. It was like aluminum steel sided boat. And
the new Del Mar.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And we went out to Coronado's, and we were plugging away at barracuda. I mean, it was just wide open barracuda. And of course, that's our first time ocean fishing. Barracuda grabs your line on a rental rod and runs, and you're like, whoa, this is a whole new level of stuff here. Like, I don't know what's going on. They weren't even gaffing stuff. They were throwing up onto the deck. It was absolute chaos, tangles galore. And it was love at first sight. Like, it didn't matter what was going on. There was something on the end of my line that was pulling harder than I could at 14. And I was like, okay, I'm good. This is where I belong. And while we love our freshwater fishing, ever since then we were salt.
Right. That's so cool. I'm the same way. It's real hard. The only time I freshwater fish is if I'm fly fishing, but throwing the surface iron for those stripers would probably be a kick in the pants. I think that would be fun. I might go try that someday. And then as you did the party boat thing, did you start going out on private boats? Did you get involved in any other type of fishing once you did the party boat thing and saw the mayhem and that's what I grew up doing. I grew up on party boats. My father owns 9 of them in Dana Point Harbor. My sister owns them now, but that was my whole world, was party boats. And then when I was 13 and a half, 14, I got to start working on them. So all I ever knew was 100 people, giant tangle. That was my whole life. That was my whole life growing up. I didn't even know there was anything else. We barely ever saw a private boater out on the water. It was all sport boats or nothing back when I was a kid.
For you, having to undo 100 lines like that is insane. You guys get really good at the over under and recognizing what's going on. I have to give it out to the deckhands. I've deckhanded on a couple of private boats. I've had people bring me out to like show them the ropes and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been on quite a few private boats now. I'm pretty well connected, I guess. So people are always like, "Oh, split gas, let's go." And I love a private boat, and it's just harder to get out to those like deep, 100-mile tuna sometimes when you're on a private boat. You just don't have the range on a lot of the boats people can afford. So still end up on a party boat every once in a while, but yeah, I do love the private boats.
Right. Yeah. My mom used to, until she passed away, I would always have to come over every year and untangle the Christmas lights because I was so good at untangling lines. It was one of those things you learn as a kid. It's pretty crazy, gang. And why my guide service and why all of it took off and it's done so well for so long is because, like I always say, if you can catch fish for 100 people every single day, it's very simple to catch fish on a private boat for 2 or 3 people. It's insane. I used to always have to stop myself because I thought we needed every fish because I grew up, we needed every fish. So when I would go on guys' private boats, they go, "Dave, we already got 30 tuna. We don't need any more. We didn't even need 30. And I'm like, well, there's 4 of us. We should get 10 more. And they're like, no, that's okay. We don't need any more. I was like, okay, I don't understand, but all right. And then I started understanding that we only needed 4 or 5. But I always thought we needed limit every time we went, because that's when people bought a ticket to go on the boat with me, and I had 80 people on the boat, we needed 800 fish every day or we sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone's watching those limits online like a hawk, We got 976 tuna now that you just go in and see like what boats are catching, what boats aren't. Like, that's the boat I want to go on. So I'm sure the business is really dependent on numbers right now.
Not anymore. Now it's just dependent on will they allow us to fish?
That's fair. Someone said, Randy said, learn the shuffle. It's hard to teach the shuffle, let alone learn the shuffle. When you got 100 people who don't know what they're doing, teaching everyone the shuffle is woof.
My favorite passengers were always the rent rodders because they listened. They would pay attention.
Yeah.
The guys that knew more than me when they got on the boat, I didn't enjoy their company on the boat in any way, shape, or form. I really hated it. And as I got older and started doing the guide service and I would go with you on your boat, I really hated the people that knew more than I did when I showed up on their boat to take them fishing. I'm like, why am I here? I don't understand. I don't want to know what you know. That's the craziest thing in my industry. You want to pay me $1,000 a day to come out and teach me what you know? I was blown away. It didn't make sense to me, but it blew my mind. And you would be shocked at how many people want to tell me all day on the boat what they know and show me about what they know. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why I'm here, but this is wonderful. I would never take any of the information I got back home with me because I know some real fishermen. I would just call them if I needed some real information. But
yeah,
it's funny. And then when you're on a sport boat with 100 people, you'd be surprised at how many of those people know way more than the captain. It's pretty weird.
I'm sure everyone does, right? Everyone knows where to go, what to use, how to fish. And I don't know. My philosophy, I'm an engineer, right? So we have to keep learning. We can't pretend we know anything. That's how people get hurt. So I try and bring that philosophy to fishing. And, I've been fishing for a while now, but there are guys way older than me who've been doing it way longer, and everyone has something to teach.
So the aerospace, that kind of helped you with the design of this board, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kind of made it so that you were really working hard on designing the best possible folding surfboard you could, right?
Yep. I'm a stress engineer, is my title. So I basically get to tell people if the airplane's going to break or not, and tell them to redesign it if it does. And then I'm usually telling myself to redesign it because I'm the designer too. So it's kind of cool because I get to, make sure that this thing is going to be strong enough. A lot of people doubt, right? That's like, okay, well, it's already broken in half. How is it going to, how is it going to fold? It's like, okay, well, I did a lot of math. That's how I can tell you. I did a lot of math and I did a lot of testing. And we take this thing out on 6 8-foot days. And I've been not okay. And the board is just fine. So I can guarantee you that this thing is going to be as strong as anything else out there, if not stronger.
And then we got a bunch of new people that have just joined because we're at that second half of the show. What are we talking about? The Nimble board. Tell everybody what you got going on here again. And those of you that already know, good for you. Thanks for being here since the beginning.
Yeah, my name's Jed. I'm starting a company called Ahi Outdoors. We focus on innovative gears for the everyday adventurer. And this is Nimble, the world's first folding foam surfboard. It's built for beginners and intermediates to get into surfing, get to the beach quicker without as much hassle. Takes no tools to assemble, has flush hinges on the bottom. It's got real shape molded into a really durable EPP foam. And it's got storage for your keys or your phone so that your stuff doesn't get stolen at the beach. Last thing is it has absolutely no wax. You don't need to wax it because the top is EVA. It gets super grippy when it's wet, and it's basically boat decking or like a track pad on a surfboard.
Nice. Here, let me just show everybody that just joined us this little video about the board real quick, and then we'll wrap.
So I just surfed the Nimble, and it is a super fun board. It paddles surprisingly well. Decent speed in the water. I could feel the concaves on the bottom of the board, like kind of really helping me turn and dig in. The shape is perfect for days like today. The folding aspect made it really easy to hike down to the beach, especially on a steep, 10-minute hike. It made it super easy. I was able to put my wetsuit, booties, all that stuff in the backpack as well. I was able to throw it in my rooftop box on my car. I could pretty much just take it anywhere. So I see it being really, really helpful for a lot of people.
So that's why we're talking about here, gang. If you just joined the show, this is the board we're talking about. But how'd you get into diving? That's kind of different. That's kind of way different than the standing on the boat fishing. All of a sudden you jumped in the water. So did the whole thing start when you saw that Dorado out there?
So that's where my spear fishing journey started. We actually started scuba diving when I was about 14. We started in Lake Mead.
Oh, wow.
And it was...
What's that like, to scuba dive in Lake Mead?
Yeah, there's less bodies than people think in the lake. At least I've never stumbled across one. But it's super cool. I mean, during the like fall time, it gets super clear. You get 100-foot viz down there. And it's a beautiful emerald green color. So there's lots of life. There's a lot more life than people think. Lots of fish, lots of crustaceans too. There's a B-29 from World War II that sunk down there that we went and saw. It's super cool. It's a whole airplane underwater. Lots of boat wrecks, and then there's whole like parks where people have actually sunk in, almost like an amusement park underwater, where they've got skeletons and school buses and stuff you can swim through. So it's a great place to dive and learn how to dive. And then we came out to California, of course. We've scuba dived all over the world, but I've done a lot of scuba diving at Catalina, and every year we put on our tanks and go lobster diving. So love grabbing bugs.
Where do you like to do the bug grabbing at?
Oh gosh, I have to give away my spots.
Nope, not at all. I already did.
MDR is probably one of the best places that we go, and you've got that big line out there, and you got all the break wall stuff that they're living in, and they seem to like it up there. Long Beach is another good spot. You just got to be careful down in Long Beach. Sometimes the bacteria will get to them, or the red tide, and make them toxic. So you just got to keep an eye on those regs. They'll close down Long Beach sometimes.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a very long time. That never really happens, but that's okay. Believe that if you want to, Jet. It's okay. You can believe that in global warming, and we're out of gasoline. And
it's not any of that. It's just I'd rather not get sick from a lobster.
No, they got an enzyme in them that keeps that meat pretty clean. I work very closely with the marine or the aquarium in Long Beach, and halibut and lobsters have an enzyme in them that keeps that meat from getting toxic, because they got to live there. Let's get to the end of the story. They got to live there. So I understand that there was a couple things that came out on the news at one time. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to explain it so we don't lose half of our fishermen, because they're like, oh, I don't want to eat that toxic. It's not toxic. And if you don't like, give them to me. I'll eat them. I'll eat them all day. I've been eating for a very long time. I'm 62 years old, and I want to tell the story. What did he die of? Oh, he died of lobster poisoning. Yeah, he did every drug known to man, but he died of lobster poisoning. Yep, that's what it took Captain Dave down. No, I'm just kidding, folks. I've never done any drugs. I'm totally not telling you that. But I'm sorry. I got caught up in the moment for a minute. That's how I play this game. But you know what? Remember, Randy, you're saying something really funny here. All my training videos start off like this. I know you do this better than me. I know your knife's sharper. I know your boat's bigger. I know that for a fact, but I'm just showing you how I do it. And I've been able to make a living at this for 50 years. So you may want to try my way, or you can go back to sucking. I don't care. There's a reason why you tuned into my videos, because you actually need some help, and I'm here to help you. You're not watching my videos because you think I'm super hot.
I mean, I might, but your videos are great, and I've learned a lot, believe me.
Yeah, thank you very much. I put out a phenomenal amount of content, and somebody's watching it, because we're getting zillions of views. So somebody's watching it. And I know Randy's always there to make some smart ass comment, and I appreciate it, Randy, because your comments make me money. So I like it. And thank you very much, Jeanette, for everything you do, and Daniel. And guys, I want you all to understand, you can get involved with this whole folding surfboard thing. It's right in the infantile stages. Can we buy these, or can we get these things now, or are we just getting the production going?
Yeah, we're getting the production going. So we're on live on Kickstarter, and Kickstarter is a website that allows us to get some of the tooling and stuff that we need to make this thing mass produced. So basically, you're pre-ordering a board. Our delivery date is target in August, and it's $100 off MSRP right now. So it's $400 on the Kickstarter, and you can go in there, and there's merch and other tiers and stuff like that. There's other things you can get in there if you want to support but don't necessarily want the board. And we appreciate all of it, because we're trying to bring all of this accessibility to the ocean. The more people that care about the ocean, the more the ocean is going to stay open for us. So we need to get people in the water, basically.
And so there's a bunch of old people on here like myself, and we hear Kickstarter on Shark Tank all the time.
Yeah.
We don't know what it means. We really have no idea. And there's people on here right now, oh, I know you don't know what it means. So Jet, tell us what it means actually.
Yeah. The Kickstarter is just a website. It basically allows projects who are just starting to get revenue so that they can actually build the thing without having to go to an investor. So we are basically crowdfunded, right? We are funded by everyone who loves us to make this thing possible because they believe in us. And when they believe in us, it gives us the motivation to go out and make this thing perfect, to make it everything we want it to be. And the Kickstarter is just a vessel.
Hold on 1 second. What are you doing, Justin?
What's going on?
We're just reeling in a big fish right now.
Okay, we're going live from the ocean right now, gang. We're taking a second, Jet. Take a drink of your water. Let's see what Justin got here.
That way.
Oh, look at the Mac you're holding in your hand. Is that a Mac 20? Or...
Sorry, I didn't have.
You're doing fine. We're watching.
No, this is so tail hooked. Never mind, we're good. Whitefish. It's a whitefish tail hooked.
Okay, thanks for being there. That was very exciting. Tail hooked whitefish. Boy, we don't see that every day. What was that reel you were holding there? Was that a Machaira?
Yeah, I got a Kuma Machaira. This is a 15. Yeah, 15-2. This is I
love those reels.
This is my go-to yellowtail and tuna, basically up to 60, 80 pounds. This thing kicks butt.
Oh, yeah. The gearing in those things is incredible. They took the old Tiburon company and they bought it and they used their gears in those Machairas. Those things are absolutely insane. And the big power handle on there makes it so easy to wind in the tuna, right?
Yeah, and I got it on a PCH custom Okuma. And it's 7.6, 30 to 60. This combo absolutely rocks. Anything patty related, you're going to be able to horse them in.
Absolutely. I love that you have Okuma products there and we can talk about it.
Oh yeah.
That's my go-to rod and reel combo, the PCH rods. You see me fishing with them all the time. The Machaira series reels. If I need a 2-speed reel, Machaira is the only way I'm going. And then if you look, there's the Tesoro series with the star drags and all the different things that they got going on. But doesn't that just feel good in your hand?
Oh, when you get this thing like this, it's butter. And yeah, someone's saying I need a real quick reel seat. I'm looking at my reel seat now like, maybe I do.
Yep. As soon as they figure out how to put those things on the Daniel's working on it right now to get them hooked up with the Okuma reels, and that'll be a phenomenal deal. And we'll get real quick on the show one day and we'll show you what we're talking about. I was introduced to the product at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, and I was super impressed with the way that it works, how quick and easy it is to put the reels on and off. And I don't know if you saw him at the Bard Hall show. He was there. Pretty cool product. But real quick, gang, I want to show you that video. We've shown it quite a few times, but it's squid time, gang. And I was listening to The Pursuit was at Catalina yesterday, and he ended up with 20 halibut and 2 legal white sea bass on his all-day trip. And he says that it was all because of squid. So listen, go to Promar Ahi. I'm going to show you this product. I'm going to throw the QR code up. Watch this. This new net that Promar made, you throw it down below the squid that won't float, and you pull it right through the middle of that squid, and look at, there you go. Got enough squid to fish with for the day. That's all I would need for a good day of sea bass fishing or yellowtail fishing. You throw that thing in the water 4 or 5 more times, your bait tank's full.
Wow.
So, see the QR code there, gang? You want to grab that. You want to go over to promarahi.com. You want to grab the QR code. It's going to save you 10% on your order. You'll be blown away when you get to the website. All the products that Promar has available to you, from the sabikis to the squid squirts that you see, the rock cod squirts that you see Justin using right now, the live deception ahi lures, the diamond jigs, sabiki rods, all your nets. But this net right now is a must-have for all private boaters. If you want to catch sea bass and halibut this year, you're going to want to have that net. And Jeanette, one of our big members, big supporters, her and her husband were asking the question yesterday, is it legal to use that? Well, yeah, it's called a dip net. It's not a throw net. The difference in California is you can't use a throw net, but that net's attached to a rope and it's thrown into the water. So therefore it's, yes, 100% legal in the state of California today. I know they could change the regs tomorrow. As soon as they see 5 or 6 of you using them and you're smiling, they're going to, Gavin Newsom hates his followers to smile. If he finds out you're smiling, he will. So don't smile when you're using that net. Don't smile when you're holding that Machaira. We don't want Gavin to shut it down. He just does not like a smile on someone's face is what I've decided. He hates me. He hates me because I got a suntan. He really probably hates you too, Jet, whether you believe it or not, because you're making a folding surfboard that people are going to go outside and enjoy.
Hey, we can't enjoy things. No,
no, not in California. Ho. But I'm just kidding, gang. I know it's all good. Keep doing what you're doing. You keep getting what you're getting. So think about that when you're at the polling centers. That's why everything's getting closed. But if you want this net, you got to have this net. You need to have this net. Go to the Promar website. And if you didn't see the QR code, if you're listening, driving in your car, remember, the code is YSWG22 when you're on the website, and that'll save you your 10%. And you got to have one of those nets, gang. There's no way around it. It's a must-have on your boat. And I'm just super happy that I got that video and I was able to see it. When they sent me that video, I was like, oh, this is a game changer.
Yeah.
Watch this. And what we did, Jet, at the Bard Hall show,
yeah,
I showed that net 2 days before the show. They warned Ben and Steve that own Ben that owns Promar. They warned them that you're going to want to have a lot of those nets on hand. You're going to sell them all out. They sold them all out on the first day.
I believe it.
At the Bard Hall show. Then they tried to tell everybody, get ready. PCS show. Captain Dave's going to have a booth there. He's going to be talking about this net. They were sold out on the first day. Then they went and Promar brought them a bunch of more nets, and they sold out again on Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, they didn't have any for anyone.
Wow.
There wasn't any. So, gang, if you don't have one, they're not very expensive. When you're on the website, it's the monofilament hoop net, the monofilament dip net, hoop net style. You'll see it. Go to the website, check it out. You got to have one of those on your boat. It's super important, gang. If you want to be successful, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go, like Jet was saying, go to 976 Tuna. Look at yesterday's fish report, the Pursuit. Johnny that owns the Pursuit, he's going to tell you they made their day. One of his friends gave him some live squid, and it changed what they caught. They got 20 legal halibut and 2 sea bass. That's how important this net is to have on your boat, gang. If you're going to go to Catalina and spend the night, you can catch your own bait. This year, a scoop of squid's $100. So that net's going to pay for itself when you use it 2 times. There, you're done, and you got enough bait to fish with. So let's get this. Let's go back to what we were talking about again. So you saw a want, a need, and a desire for this folding surfboard. So you went to work designing this, or did you take time off?
I did actually take some time off. I went on personal leave for about 6 months to get this whole thing started with my buddy. We also worked together. And we got this thing off the ground. And, speaking of sea bass, it's one of the things we use it for, is getting out there to get to the sea bass. So,
because it's kind of a stealth mode, right? You're getting
100%.
Paddling through the kelp. You're just kind of in the stealth mode.
You pull the fins off of it, right? You pull the skegs off of it, and then you can glide over the kelp. And if you're, either fishing rod and reel or you're fishing spear fishing, right? Getting through that kelp can be a pain in the butt, especially on a big paddleboard. So getting through it on something that's super stealthy, super slick on the bottom, right? You can just get right over that kelp to the spot you want to get to. And those sea bass are around right now. And like you said, if they're chewing squid and you don't have squid, you're not catching them.
So you have a way to hook your game bag to this board somewhere?
Yeah. So there's a whole leash attachment point basically on those 3 fin black dots on the bottom.
Right.
And you can attach things to that. And we're if this goes well, which it's going well, we're going to come out with a paddle board that's going to have a lot more storage, but still keep that stealthy fold up, hard board. So it's not something you have to sit there and pump for an hour to get out. You just lock it together and go. And that's going to have a lot more storage for fishing, for actually like rod and reel fishing from it.
Okay, that would be awesome as this thing goes along. But I'm checking it all out while we're sitting here talking again, and I'm looking. Those hinges are super smooth across the bottom there. I kind of got it blown up here on the side on my iPad. I'm looking.
Yeah,
that thing just looks incredible all the way around. There's no downside to that thing, right?
Nope, no, it still performs as good or better than a normal foamy for sure, and as good as a normal surfboard. So it's something that you can get and grow on, and you're not going to throw in a landfill. That's something, we also care about is the ocean. We see a lot of boards thrown into the ocean because they're done. And that's a lot of, it's a lot of bad stuff getting thrown in the ocean. So we want this to be something that you're going to keep for a while. It's going to be durable, and it's not going to end up in a landfill or in the ocean.
And then how much does this thing weigh? If I'm going to strap it to my back and walk up and down the path at San Onofre?
Yeah, it's 14.5 pounds. So we've added about a pound and a half, maybe 2 pounds with the bag, the little phone bag once you put your phone in there. So it's really not that big of a difference. It's not something you can really feel. And the bag is super light. The backpack you can hike it all day.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so awesome, gang. And there's a lot of people, like I said, listening to the show. They don't have the ability to see the QR code or any of that stuff. Yeah. So we're going to wrap this show up here, gang, with one. We're going to revisit the website. We're going to let Jet tell us how to get a hold of him, how to find out more about this and the Kickstarter program and everything he's got going on with this board. And then hopefully we'll bring you back in here in a few months and you can tell us about how bitchin' the growth is in this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, someone just said it'd be great to store on your boat. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we wanted to do too. I know there's a lot of people who boat in small boats to surf spots or to fishing spots, and you can get in there with this. I mean, it's right here. I know some of your viewers can't see it, but a lot of them can. That's it. It goes, it can go down in your cuddy just like that. I mean, it's super thin. You've got several of them. You got the backpack straps just like that. You got pockets on the front for storage, and it's just a couple of clips. And I know my camera's kind of defocusing, but it's just a couple of clips, and it comes right out, folds right out. It takes under 30 seconds to put together.
Yeah, Don Stanley, that's a great thing. Those of you with bigger boats, and there's a lot of you that watch me every day, and I know who you are. Think about your friends. Are you going fishing at Catalina, or you're going fishing at Clemente, or you're going out to the Cortez or the Tanner? You're going somewhere fishing. Are you going up and down the Baja coast, or you're fishing the coast? And your friend's a surfer on the boat, and he goes, "Hey, do you have a surfboard?" And you're like, "Well, yeah, we got 4 of them downstairs in the engine room." They're like, "Really?" "Well, yeah, they're the fold-up ones. Those things are badass." That's a great idea, Don Stanley, to have them on your boat. I don't know why I didn't think of that, because I've run quite a few yachts, and a lot of the guys on the yachts have always asked me, "Hey, do you got any surfboard?" No, I don't have anywhere to put them.
Where are you going to put a surfboard?
Now you can put it in the engine room. It'll be just fine down there. You can put it up on the overhead. You can put them all over the place. They don't take up any room. And then you can go surfing some of the bitchinest places on the planet with no other surfers.
That's right. And it's super durable. So, you throw it around your boat. You can keep it in the engine room where it's hot. It's going to be fine. It doesn't have any wax to melt.
Yeah, that is awesome. With the backpack and everything, it'll go store very cleanly on your boat. Yep. That is just a bitchin' design. This is going to explode. I have a feeling this is going to explode. Mike Lewis, who's a very, very close personal friend of mine, but he's kind of like me. He's a big fat guy. How much weight does it hold? What's the weight limit?
Our legal weight limit is 250 pounds.
Oh, Mike, you and I can do it. We come under, we miss it by like 20 pounds a piece. I think we're like 230s.
Oh, you guys are fine.
All right. Fat guys. They're made for fat guys, Mike. Check that out.
They're strong enough for it.
How fun. Oh, yeah. At the ranch, Anthony, could you imagine being up at the ranch on your yacht and not having to drag 4 or 5 full-size surfboard. You know what happens when you bring, listen, I know what happens, Anthony, when you bring a full-size surfboard on a yacht. Dings.
Lots
and as a shaper, that is the worst thing in the world to hear, that someone dinged your board. Your board is dinged. Now you can't put it back in the water till you get the dings fixed, because what happens? Then the water gets in the foam, and that's the end of that. So having these things on your yacht or on your private boat, anywhere, Channel Islands, any of you guys that fish the Channel Islands, you've seen, I can't get into that spot where the kelp is. You throw on your board shorts, you paddle in there, you're catching sea bass in the kelp. It's going to be spectacular. Yeah, you're a lightweight, Don Stanley. You're only 220. I'm 230, 240, maybe 250 now. I don't know. I've been eating a lot of ice cream. But yeah, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. Let them know. Yeah. We'll wrap this thing up.
So you can, we got lots of Instagram stuff going on. So you can follow us on Instagram, and then our Kickstarter page is live. If you're listening, you can go to aethiaoutdoors.com. That's AETHIA outdoors.com, and that'll take you to the Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter is running for the next about 25 days, and that's your opportunity to get it at $100 off MSRP. So it's for $300, $399 on Kickstarter right now.
Wow, that's like a tank of gas in my truck.
Easy.
Yeah.
In California for sure.
Absolutely. And gang, the QR code's right there on the screen. Those of you that are watching, you can grab the QR code. That's going to take you to his Kickstarter page and get you involved. And then also follow him on Instagram. Check him out over there. Leave messages here. If you have any questions you want to know, Jed will be checking them out throughout the day. Leave a question on YouTube or Facebook. He'll do his very best to answer any of your questions, gang. And I can't wait to see everybody out at the island flipping open their boards and going paddling around the island and going surfing some of those spots that you've looked at for years.
Yeah.
No people. It's not like when you pull in the parking lot, you're like, oh my gosh, look at all these cars. Look at all these people. You're on your boat. You're surfing some of the most spectacular places with no people. And the color is blue and white. Is there other colors?
Yeah, there's one other color right now. We've got an orange and white. It's a lot like this orange right here. And that one's also bitching. It's super bright. And if you got someone you want to see, you can see him for sure. Nice.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. Everybody that's watching, thank you very much. Don't forget to check out his website and his Instagram page. And go to Promar and get those nets. One of our members just told me that he just went there and got the net while we were talking. Josh got it for $75.59 with the discount from your Saltwater Guide. Gang, that's less than a scoop of squid. That's less. Yeah. I think that's 2 gallons of gas in California, right? $75, something like that.
For my car, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. But that's a phenomenal deal for that net, gang. When the scoop of squid's $100, and you're going to be at Catalina tomorrow night or the next night, you're going to be looking over the side and seeing that squid, and you're going to kick yourself in the butt for not having that net. And then you're going to be looking inside on the inside edge of the kelp where you can't get to, and you're going to be kicking your ass because you don't have one of those fold-up boards down in your engine room so you could go in there and get a sea bass. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. I had a good time talking with you. It was fun to learn a little bit about Lake Mead, fun to learn about the boards. I hope you enjoyed being on here today. We had quite a few people watching us, quite a few people, a lot of comments, a lot of involvement. Which is
great questions from your audience too. This has been a pleasure. And anyone wants to hit me up about surfing or fishing, let me know. I'm always game.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Akuma Wednesday. Thank you all for tuning in today. Have a great day. Turn off the news. They're all lying.